everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talks with Tasha. I am your host, Natasha, and I'm so excited to finally get to recording. It has been a wild week, a wild few weeks. I say that every time, but I swear it just gets more wild. And a wild day, honestly, because my camera wasn't working, the battery wasn't charged, the whole 9 yards. I had to go find a new charger for it. Anyways, I've lost my voice. I'm getting it back slowly. So if you hear some cracks or like I've smoked 16 cigarette packs, I haven't. I lost my voice because I talk like I'm 5 years old. Today's episode is going to be all about the life of an empath. Yep, I'm an empath. I am an empath to the max. Like if there was like a ruler or a leader or an example of what an empath is, I'm your girl. I feel like a lot of us are, and for me, it took a while to not be ashamed of it, and I had to learn a lot through therapy of how to navigate the kind of person that I am, and how that's not something that I can honestly change. The life of an empath. I guess let's start off with talking about what an empath is. Let's just go to like the Google dictionary of what an empath is. A person with a paranormal ability to apprehend the mental or emotional state of another individual. Which I feel like I do. I have so many people in my life who come to me for their problems, their issues, their worries, their anxiety, you name it, right? To vent. And I am very quick and very adamant. And I'm just like, damn, I soak everything like a sponge. Everything, every emotion. I soak it. I take it with me. And honestly, it's not put me in the best places. And I say that because being an empath, I feel like, is hard. It's harder than anything else. Being the opposite. I don't know what the opposite of empath is. But anyways, I feel like it's so much harder because you carry all these feelings with you. Or at least I know from speaking from experience, I do. Whether it be problems with family, friends, you name it, coworkers, work around me, it's so hard not to just absorb it and take it with you and feel all those feelings. As you keep going and as you keep learning and growing, you'll start to learn more about how to differentiate and how to set those boundaries. And over the course of the last couple of years, I've really learned and like kind of mastered how to step back and be like, okay, this is a little bit too much for me. It's a little bit too draining for me, and it's helped. Honestly, to put a boundary up is not a bad thing, and I feel like we take a boundary and we make it so much bigger than it actually is. We get offended by boundaries. We don't like boundaries, but boundaries are our way of protecting ourselves, protecting other people, and that is something I'm not afraid to do anymore. I had a situation with one of my best friends, and I was like, listen, I love you. I don't love the people around you, and I choose to not be around those people because I am an empath. I soak everything, whether it's negative energy, good energy, mediocre energy. I soak it all up, and that's not something that I want for my life. And do not get me wrong, I have those days where I'm so negative. And a quote I will always live by. A quote I will always live by is misery loves company. And if you are one of my friends, you know the quote because I bring it up in any situation. Misery loves company. And that's exactly what that means. People that are negative, people that are ugly in like energy, not ugly in like physical, but ugly energy. It's real, right? We see it all the time. We have negative energy ourselves, ugly energy. I know I do, and I have to call myself out all the time. But there's times where like I've been at work and I show up to work and one of my coworkers will be negative and like, I don't want to do this. Or I'm like, yeah, me too. And we feed off of each other, and I soak up all that energy and soak up all that negativeness and ugliness that comes with that energy. And it's no good because then I go home, I'm like, I had a horrible day. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. I didn't make any money. And it's like, but look what happened. You went into it very positively and you left it. You left it very negatively. Being an empath, you have to have, at least for me, those boundaries of like, okay, I'm going to listen. I'm going to let you vent. I'm going to let you, take it all out on me and whatever else. But there's other moments where I'm like, this is too much for me. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to talk about this. I'm sorry you're going through it. And all I can do, or maybe all you can do, is say, I'm sorry you're going through it. I'm praying for you. I'm thinking about you. I hope you get through it. I don't believe being an empath is ever a bad thing. I know I definitely used to think that way because of how badly I was one. Like I was a negative empath thing, and I would let everything get to me, and I would let it affect my mood, my energy, my surroundings. It was all around bad that I was an empath, and I felt so ashamed of it and just like, oh, why am I like this? Why am I like this? And at one point, my therapist had to set me straight, and she was like, Natasha, it's not a bad thing. You just didn't navigate your way through it and how to handle it and how to be a good empath and basically master it, right? And mastering it is taking control of your feelings and somebody else's and knowing that their feelings are not yours. Because what happens in the end? Sis, then you are upset. Then you're crying and you're feeling all the feelings that your friend was just feeling and venting to you about and pushing onto you. And it doesn't take you anywhere. When I learned to put those boundaries up and put those walls up of like, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to talk about this. I don't want to be near this person. I don't want to be hang around this person. I mean it, right? Because I know my feelings towards others and I know how I get, whether it's negative, positive, sad, mad, glad, you name it. I think it's all a matter of just mastering your feelings. There's no rule book, there's no handbook on how to do it. You just have to know yourself from the inside and how you feel. And you have to listen to those feelings that you're feeling, because if you don't, you're just going to ignore them and you're going to think that you're crazy for feeling these things, because I know I did. But I had to learn the hard way because I was so drained and I was so negatively affected by it that it was hard for me to get out of that. It was hard for me not to be like, oh, man, this person's really going through it and now I am too because they're going through it. I was just going through it the other day where something happened within my family and I, had the worst day at work, had the worst day afterwards, and I skipped church because of it, and it threw everything off for me. And for the last couple of days, I'm trying to get myself out of it and out of my head, draining yourself, and it doesn't get you anywhere. You can be a good person, you can be an empath, and not have to feel everything that everyone's feeling. You don't have to feel their pain, you don't have to carry their pain, because you've got enough of that already, right? So we don't need any more of that from any type of way or direction or person. I've had to kick myself in the butt and be like, okay, Natasha, let's get it together. Let's get out of this funk. Let's get out of this situation. It's not your problem. Never has been. It wasn't from the very beginning, but you just got sucked into it, right? And being who I am, I was soaking it in like a sponge, and I couldn't get myself out of it. And it bit nobody in the butt but me. Right? So in the end, it's a lose-win situation, It's great to be that, and it's great, and I've learned not to be ashamed of who I am, but it's also like I've had to work at it. I've had to go through the lowest of the lows and the highest of the highs to be like, okay, it's okay that I am this way. I just have to learn how to control it, how to master it. And once you do, you're unstoppable. You're freaking amazing. You're a genius. And my best friend Deanna will attest to it. When I was having this issue, she was like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, absolutely nothing. I will help from a distance, I will love from a distance, and I will care from a distance. But I cannot continue to soak this shit in and think I'm going to have a good day or think I'm going to have a good week, because I'm already thrown off my loop. I'm already thrown off my routine because of the situation I've inserted myself in because of who I am, an empath. So you can love from a distance, you can care from a distance, you can help from a distance. You don't have to, when someone brings you into these types of situations, issues, problems that they are having, and make it your own, Because again, it just throws you off and it kills your vibe. And I'm not about killing my vibe, okay? So keep that negative energy over there and let me be me, let me do me, let me be happy me, because that's what I'm all about. Okay? It's positive energy or no energy. Okay. That's all I have for today. Honestly, I need to do better. I know I need to do better. I'm going to do better. I promise. Life has just been giving me a good slap, and that's okay. We're going to have those weeks, those days, whatever, but all that matters is that we're doing it. I had a horrible day where my battery wasn't working. I had to go buy a new charger. The charger didn't seem to be working. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do this. I'm just not going to do this. And I'm like, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to take a breather. We're going to get this done. So we're getting this done. Thank you so much for coming back to Talks with Tasha. I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you that watches. I hope you got to relate one way or another, because I know we've all been there. Okay? You can't flex on me and say you haven't, because we've all been there. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe, share with your mamas, your daddies, and all you other empaths. You got this, okay? Don't ever give up. Don't change who you are. Just master it, okay? Thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have an amazing day, an amazing week. And that's all I've got. Good night. Good day. Good morning.